Candles. In Tin Candles was
Okay, I'm going
more of
live.
an anthology series.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
live.
great. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, right.
Oh
Everyone move
my
over.
god.
Everyone move
We-
over to Aiden's channel. Okay, go.
Yeah.
I'll stay here until the
Yeah, we
count
can
goes
stay
to
and
0.
restream for the audio. I'm just gonna be playing Minecraft in the background, so I actually am showing something. So yeah,
Where's the
Okay.
it's on my
where's the
channel.
thing?
On my channel.
I mean, I could just swap. All right, I can just swap you over.
Okay.
Like, okay, we can do Fallen Angels. Like, if the caption is on, if we can see our images.
Yeah, I
Can we
mean,
see our images.
I mean,
wait, what?
I can't do that, guys. This is a technical issue. I can't. I could do that, but I have to be looking at your tab, and it'd be kind of weird. I mean, I could do that. Maybe I will do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Aiden, if you don't play Minecraft, looking at a certain tab doesn't become an issue. Just saying.
No, I mean, I'm literally playing I could play Minecraft for Division while we talk.
Oh, I see what he's saying. So we're gonna speak in the background, and on his stream, he'll be playing Minecraft.
Just to give.
Yeah, I know he was saying that. He was quite clear. I've been like, okay, if he's if he was worried about like different visuals and stuff, that's what we have our face cams for.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, hello stream.
All right, I'm ending my stream. All right,
Yeah,
thank you everyone for joining about that. Go to Aiden's channel. Do it now.
Jacob's ending his stream. Anyways, hello stream. I'm Aiden the Best, the creator of Fallen Angels.
God, why is your mic so bad?
Agreed.
Like your mic's worse. Like it's not usually that bad, but it's like really staticky today.
Why is my mic staticky? Better?
You know, I was watching the Kids on Bikes playtest. It was such an upgrade. And then
why are we still talking
now,
about this?
Okay,
yeah,
BB, can we focus on this?
Okay. And now I'm watching Kolak 1991,
no
and
one,
the production value is great.
Can't
but
hear
no
you.
one
yeah.
cares. We're here for Fallen Angels.
Well, okay, someone's over there playing Tetris, but you know.
Okay. Anyways, so
I'm playing
hey,
solitaire.
welcome to the stream. I'm great at streaming. This is why I don't stream that often. I'm very bad at it. Anyways.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop on Minecraft, I guess, if we're doing all this.
I mean, sure. Anyways, today we'll be discussing my voice actor gacha show called Fallen Angels, what I could do better, or aspects of it, or something like that, you know, and stuff like that. Like what's good, what's bad, and yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so
right.
yeah, I'm joined by Jacob, Black. Is Blackjack here?
No, not anymore.
No. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, she might be in the chat. It depends.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm joined.
Okay, I just checked your stream. Your stream, it has your mic being fine. I guess it's just, I don't know. And we all hear your mic is weird, so I guess it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's
Just
picking up.
us.
Maybe OBS. Maybe you're using a mic on OBS that you aren't using on here. Is your mic on here the right one?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. But yeah, I kind of want to discuss. Okay, so first discussion points. Like, I mainly want to discuss the plot. I mean, visually, we could talk about that too. But I would like to get a lot of pointers on the plot and what they think about character arcs and general storyline and stuff like that, because like that's what would like the main priority be. But you guys can really discuss anything about the show. But I would definitely like to get some pointers on that kind of stuff.
The first piece of opinion-related content is Curse Pikachu going Supreme Minecraft gameplay. Not what we're here to talk about, but
the Minecraft gameplay is great. Yeah, just let me join. We can play some Bed Wars.
Oh, okay.
Oh my word! Don't start playing Bed Wars. You're gonna lose focus.
Okay.
Are we gonna play Bed Wars?
No, we're not. I guess. Okay.
I'll join.
So what do you want? What would you like? Like, okay, so like you guys really carry a conversation because I'm the creator. So carry on the conversation. Talk.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to say right now myself because I'm pretty sure that over the years I have pretty much said my entire piece about fallen angels
Yeah,
many
but
times over.
yeah, but
Hmm.
Yeah, because like part of the idea of this was
Hmm.
like like other people doing that because obviously it can't just be me all the time. We want to hear from somebody else who wasn't,
yeah,
But that's because we had to make sure that the show was being taken seriously.
yeah.
Because that's one thing, that the show doesn't seem to have doesn't seem to carry as much of as much of the a studious audience, I suppose, or maybe like people trying to like discuss it or in any sort of capacity. Not as much as something like the Mutant Girl would, for example. That's what we're really comparing it to, especially because it came about as partly inspired by the Mutant Girl, even though it's obviously very different in its nature.
Oh, I got Arya Grayswold.
Audrey Griswold.
Okay.
Audrey Griswold.
Okay, read it out, Jacob, since I am bad at reading.
Yeah, and also because you're playing Minecraft. All right. I think what can be done better is more like how they watch over humans. Maybe what exactly do they do with humans? I don't know. But overall, it's a cool show. Audrey, when we talked on like our stream, like the one I did before this one, you hadn't actually watched the show yet. I don't think you like binge it in the time that we were talking, like in the 2.5 hours. That is impressive. Anyways, so yeah, what do you think about that? About the overall thing with the humans?
I mean, I probably could have done more early on with the humans and stuff like that, like exploring that. But my main problem with tackling that would be like the repetition of the actual angel's existence, because that would be repetitious for the audience to see, because it would be literally angels hang out. Angels got a job to do. Teleport to Earth. Watch a human die by some sword. Grab the soul. Take them to the people who judge the soul. Leave the underworld. Go back to Angel Realm. Hang out for a bit. Rinse and repeat for eternity. That would literally be it, and that would be the main problem with that.
I will say it's not necessarily it's something that it doesn't have that many steps to it necessarily. So that might be why. I just realized that my chat is still going. I can try and send more people over here. Let me just do that in the meantime.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that would be it. I'm just about to buy what I just realized this. I can do that. Let me just.
Alright, so Audrey says, but I understand if you still have to keep it all up within the plot.
Honestly, I know very little about plot continuity. Mainly because I just forget what happened half the time and go off of whatever my gut feeling is at that time. However, I do have a tad bit of an issue following Fallen Angels sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I watch the episodes out of order, but I mean like the first like few episodes. Because mind you, I have watched a few random future-ish episodes from where I'm actually at. I think I watched up to like episode 7 or something with you guys, and then I passed out on my desk or whatever. It's usually what happens.
Yeah.
Generally, I fall asleep.
Then I passed out.
Yeah, that's about what happens. I usually fall asleep. But like from the parts I do remember, like even certain episodes were just hard to follow because it was like all over the place sort of thing. And then it was also like sometimes there were 5 characters total in an episode, and other times there would be like 17.
Yeah. We're trying to be more ambitious than in-game here,
Yeah.
There is some truth to that, but not in the way you might be expecting.
What does that mean?
That is all I can say on that one right now, and probably for the next couple of years.
Oh my god, Harvey's gonna have a kid, and then he's actually gonna have like 15 kids.
It's
How
okay.
on earth do you
Just
get that from? I can't say anything from.
okay.
a
Just
couple.
wait until
Okay.
season 7.
Just wait.
Harvey gets a spin-off about him and his 15 kids.
Just because he's part raccoon doesn't mean he reproduces like one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Wait,
called
raccoons have a lot of
Harvey's World.
Oh god. Okay, but
La la
yeah.
la 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 la. Harvey's World.
Yeah, but like when it comes to at least the writing process, I normally fold the episode into 3 to 4 plots nowadays. Well, some episodes are hyper focused on certain plot points or a certain character, which Josh did say focus on one per character per episode, which would be kind of
Yeah.
hard plot wise because like the plot is hyper dense and always developing. Like the thing with season 2 is that season 2 always is flowing, narratively speaking, so it'd be kind of hard to focus on thing. Although there is a
Yeah,
focused
for those of
episode,
you-
there is a character focused episode in season 3. I mean season 2, the wrong season.
Yeah,
I haven't wrote season 3
for
yet.
those of you who think that that think that how Aiden kind of tries to juggle a lot is a little overwhelming. That gets remedied a bit later, but not in Fallen Angels. But but the thing him and I have been doing together isn't quite as overwhelming as that. So if that makes you feel a bit better.
Yeah, but I can't see how Fallen Angels can be a little bit overwhelming, all the characters and stuff like that. Which it probably has just as many characters as the Mutant Girl, but the thing is, unlike the Mutant Girl, actually try to give more development to each character versus, say, Jacob, who leaves a lot of characters at the wayside, which is a good and bad thing, I will say. Like at the end of the day, it can yield like the main characters become just as fleshed out, but when the side characters in my show get just as much fleshing out, or at least enough fleshing out where you know them better than say Cosmo Crane, for example. You know them better.
See-
Okay, hang on a second. I'm glad you brought this up because this is actually something that Monet talked to me about. Because at one point we stopped about the music girl last night, and by the way, people don't know about this and they're just watching Aiden stream and not, and they didn't see the one before. This idea came about because Mona and I were talking about the mutant girl and like how and like the issue that she actually found with it last night, and actually afterwards she started talking about Fallen Angels and a lot of aspects, and one thing that she did mention was about the characters. She actually said that Fallen Angels, the way it had the most potential in her mind at least, was if Alana had been the main character, but because it was Adam, we didn't find out that much about Adam and how he was somewhat boring. That's why that show, that's why it didn't succeed in her mind, essentially.
Yeah, I think what would have I think in hindsight what really would have benefited you, Aiden, is if you had an anthology show about these characters beforehand, and then you would have put them all together in Fallen Angels.
I mean,
what?
like Infinity War, I think wasn't that how that worked out?
to be fair, I am planning my own Infinity War, but that's fear to future.
You're gonna kill everybody?
Well, there is a lot of death in my
Aiden.
show. There's a lot of death in it. The whole premise is death.
Okay. But
And yes, main
Infinity
characters
War?
do die. Yes, Infinity War. Bringing multiple storylines together to equal a giant storyline.
Now, when you say that,
But
do
half
you
of the
mean
world
Infinity?
dies.
Now, when you say that, do you mean Infinity War for, like, what define what's crossing over there? Is it all of your stuff? Is it all Butterverse stuff already released? Is it all Butterverse stuff planned?
I don't think that Aiden's prepared to release that yet, so unless I'm.
Yeah, no.
No, are you not gonna tell that?
No, it's been like the storyline that I'm gonna be going with for the massive accumulation of Endgame / Infinity War kind of style hasn't been revealed yet, and I'm not ready to tell people that. I mean, people will know it eventually, by the end of a certain other series. People will know what I'm going for, but right now it's focused on the Angels and their conflict is what's going to remain the focus for Fallen Angels right now, or at least for a long time will be that focus on the angels and stuff. So
Yeah, we don't really have time to do shows. Like we've tried over the years many times.
I mean,
Just-
I'm working on like the demon show, but yeah. But anyways, so yeah.
I guess it's just because my current idea is I don't have to worry so much about the visuals.
Yeah.
honestly,
but-
that is
Why
somewhat
are
the
they
dream.
books?
You know, to be able to write and not necessarily worry about like the production aspect of things. Actually, that would really help. If Ed and I weren't like writing and producing at the same time, it would actually like give us time to generate like more episodes for everything and solve quite a lot
Isn't
of
that
issues.
just a book?
Yeah, because like you guys are doing
Not quite, not
gotcha,
quite.
but my thing is a different medium than anything we've seen in the Butterverse yet, and it's I right now it's seeming like the most luxurious way to write for me, honestly, because
Maybe-
it's just enough that I can really tell a good story, but loose enough that I don't really have to worry all the time about things like that. So I can just
Alright,
so I can just go.
Okay. By the way, since I just speaking of Mona, because I just mentioned a point that she made a while ago. Let's see if she can expand on it herself. Welcome back.
What
Yeah.
point?
Hey,
Okay, wait. Well, I will say about that point, there is some things that Adam as a protagonist isn't the most interesting character, unfortunately, because like his arc.
This point, Mona.
Yeah, his arc in generally was meant to encompass the first episode, and his arc, and him going through his arc, and him going through what
Wait,
he
hold on,
had to go through, him going through his arc and doing what he did caused the whole series of events. Because
Adam
That is true.
seems like he would be a good protagonist in a harem show. Not
harem.
Yes.
Okay, we're going a bit off topic here. Hold on a
I'm
second.
the way that Adam was designed as a main character fits on in some areas, in some genres, also known as harems. However,
I guess if
does
you
not
Jacob, don't comment on this.
I guess if
fit
you wanted,
here.
maybe Alana could have actually been like the first girl in the harem if we were going to do that.
Yeah,
can
but
sort of see it, but the
Adam is canonically not into women, so you know that's kind of a struggle.
So there's that.
You know,
He
that
can
kind
be in a gay harem.
yes, thank you, Monet. Thank you.
Okay, well in that case, Zach would have been the.
Oh
child
God,
protector.
no! The best friend trope. He fell in
But
love
what I
with
was
his best
but, like,
friend.
the point of
God,
that was
no.
that he's more of a boring character that can be strong at times, but there are other characters surrounding him that are stronger than him a lot of the time.
It kind of reminds me of
And-
early Aphmau in that regard.
Mhm.
A lot of time with writing it, like early Aphmau.
Man,
like,
if
Aphmau
I
wasn't
ever-
Which
the
was
most...
actually a reverse harem. Yeah.
If
that
if
was.
the stars ever align with any of my concepts, I ever do have like a straight up just crossover with Fallen Angels in particular, with Adam. I feel like hearing this, I now just want Adam to be showing everyone up just that way. We can see how Adam is compared to mortals.
I mean, okay, but
Just for that singular
because-
purpose. I just want Adam to look
generally
better.
on the point. Adam gets some major development in season 2, which we haven't exactly started hitting that development. We started to hit that development with Adam
Yeah, you know
reflecting
what?
about how he messed up, how
I'm
he
playing
messed up with the
patiently.
whole with everything with Alana and
You
the
know
season finale and
something?
stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're really starting to hit that development, but a mass of that development doesn't really occur to like episode like 6 territory until later
Okay,
in the
hang on,
season
Aiden,
where we
just-
get that
just to,
massive arc.
But
Just-
you're
just to
against
jump on-
putting Adam as the leader in a reverse harem.
Oh my
story
word!
sort
Wait
of
a
thing?
minute. Let's ignore the ham thing for a second. I will say there's
For
one
a
thing I was
second.
going to talk to you about, Monet. Actually, was because I was tempted to say this, like obviously when you brought this up last night, because like both with the music girl, like talking about stuff and stuff that should happen or something like that, so ideas. There are a few things you mentioned that would happen that were happening later seasons that we already had decided, but I was like, I can't tell you that.
But
I
that's
can't
the
say it.
thing.
Like it's like I wanted
Let
to.
me say
I was
something.
like okay.
This is why I. Okay, I'll wait. But this is why I was saying that's why I was very like kind of critical on it because what? Like, you guys plan things so in advance that you kind of stretch the story too much. Because what is what I'm saying? He Adam as a main character, he pales in comparison to Alana. It's kind of like the Spock syndrome, where one character who's not supposed to be the main character overshadows the main character in a series. So Adam as the main character, people kind of forgot. People tend to, if it was so everyone like Alana so much, and how what's going on with her, no one cared what's going on with Adam. No one cared.
Okay, since we're here now,
Let me finish.
On live stream, can we just like get people spit their ideas on that? Do you agree with what was just said? Because that's one reason I wanted to open this up.
I do agree with that,
Can I
actually.
finish now? Oh, yeah.
Because-
I mean, sure. I wanted to put the question out the air before it became overshadowed.
Oh, Josh
Okay.
is thinking that Zach is a better main character than Adam.
Okay. I think
And
yeah,
that
Zach is
too.
kind of the Zuko of that series.
Zach
Yeah, no, Zach is Zuko.
kind of has some
Barbie
compelling traits too.
spin-off.
I mean, like within
Wow, so I guess
season
I
within
have a question,
season
Maya.
1, everyone had a unique deal minus Adam. Like for example, Zach's whole deal was his whole character arc about which side to pick, prompted by Adam. Alana's whole like storyline was prompted by living after death. And prompted by Adam. A lot of them were inherently prompted by Adam. I mean, the only one that wasn't prompted by Adam, but Adam just happened to got involved with, was Trevor, because like the whole Lilith plot was kind of happening outside of Adam's control or outside of
Which
Adam's
makes Adam a
influence.
story pusher, not a main character. The main
Now
character
that-
would be involved in those.
Hang on,
Well,
now
he
that you
got
mention that,
involved,
Yes.
but that which makes him an active protagonist
Aiden.
rather than a passive protagonist.
and now
that
that you
regard.
mentioned that, he actually he's kind of like Goku in that regard. Except for instead of the villain.
Adam is not Goku.
I said he's like Goku. I didn't say he was Goku. Definitely not.
Adam
Not
is
if it's
Goku.
not
He's going to
English in
Super
my
Saiyan
house.
6 next week. You know, like that's like whenever I finish the episode I'm working on, like yeah, no, he's gonna go Super Saiyan 6.
I mean, you say that, but there are different levels of Angel.
There aren't 6 levels.
Well,
There are
I have
3
a question, Maya.
levels.
Yes.
There was originally.
I have a question. Why do you agree?
I agree solely on the bounds of I found other characters more interesting and kind of forgot about him. Which seems odd given my like tendency to focus on like gay characters, basically. I have a hyper focus on gay relationships and stuff like that I don't really understand.
It's the show for you then, clearly.
However, I kind of forgot about the gay main character.
I mean, it doesn't
Just
really
yeah.
come to the story, really.
Because I don't. This is what brought up characterization to Jacob yesterday. You guys do not have strong characterization. That was why I feel your show lacked. It's like not just the Fallen Angels, it's also the Mutant Girl. You guys have weak characterization.
We did actually bring that
I would
up.
say one character can say a line and it could be replaced by any other character, and that is what I feel is the sole problem with Fallen Angels. Well, not so far Fallen Angel, but it's very strongly Mutant Girl. A lot of the characters' dialogue does not can be interchanged. It could be swapped around. And
shall we play the game again?
It's not
Yes.
Wait, one
Okay,
thing I will
so
add on
Monet.
to that
Okay.
is one
All
thing
right, fine, I
that
will
is
put it
interesting
on.
to add upon that is you say that, but sometimes it's kind of hard because like with character relationships, that could really differ because like for example, Adam and
That's different
Alana,
wise, yeah.
Alana are gonna have a deeper and a lengthier more conversation versus say Alana and Zach, who have had like a deep conversation or two, but that's it. They don't really bond that much. So I mean, you say that, but sometimes you gotta take into account some of the character relationships. Like certain characters will be a lot more open and a lot more talkative towards each other than others. Like Trevor and Luna, for example, would be.
I've gone into this as well
But
in the other stream.
I have a question though. Wait, Jacob, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, Jacob. When I'm trying to, You're talking about interpersonal character development between characters interacting with each other. What I'm talking about for what's lacking in the series is intrapersonal character development inside of the character by themselves. What is their physiological development within themselves? And this is where it comes in with planning. This is when it comes to planning. Because it's okay if you don't plan, but you have to have an idea of who the character is. Like
Hold on,
if you know
didn't
that
you just say
character
we
better than
plan
the
too
other
far in
audience know that
advance?
character.
Didn't you say we plan too far in
No,
advance?
no. That's I'm not talking about planning in advance. I'm talking about planning right now for the now, not for the future.
I
How
mean,
does this character
like Adam,
stand at
like
this very moment? Not where the character is gonna be. I'm talking about where the character is at this moment in time.
okay,
Okay.
Adam chronologically right now is dealing with the emotional fallout of losing Alana and having the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's also dealing with the fact that in the past he made very irresponsible decisions, which may have led to our current situation. And he's dealing with being a leader and like really keeping a group together and stuff like that. That's mostly what Adam's deal is. It's not the
Yes,
most complex and interesting and deep,
but
but
but Aiden,
that is his deal.
It's worth
what
pointing
I'm
out that
trying to
this
say,
stream is
Aiden,
being
is that
done when season
you're
at the
not
time of
wrong.
season 2, episode 2 of Fallen
Yeah.
Angels. But that's the latest episode that's come out as of right now.
Could I
Hey,
can I
go
finish
on,
now?
Monet.
So I was trying to say is that you're not wrong, Aiden. It does happen when you're trying. It does happen when people are interacting with each other. Yes. However, they don't have enough time. They never got moments where it's just the audience watching them. It's usually, oh, someone has to be talking to them, have to be dialogue. What happens to the monologue? Where's when the only person talking is the character? What's the character's inner thought? Because that is how people form connections. It's not really through much of what they say to others, it's what they communicate through their actions or what the hell they speak on their own. When they're by themselves, that's how we get a deeper feel into these characters. And I feel like in Fallen Angels and in The Meeting Girl, we don't have enough time where the characters are by themselves. And I think that is why, in part, why people like Julius a lot. Because Julius did have moments by himself.
When would you be? I don't want to talk about Judas too much. We just did an entire stream of 2.5 hours about this. But
I know.
what moments would you be referring to? Like the one where he's like walking back and like back to his own tent and such. Listen to the laughter, because that's one example I can think of. Do you have
see
like
something
others?
like that. Yes, that would be technically a moment. That would be
Okay.
technically a moment where you can see that Julius is by himself. He's feeling something, and it doesn't have to deal with another character dialogue talking to him and all that stuff. Because I feel your series are very dialogue heavy, and there's not a lot of monologue. There's not a lot of like at parts where it stands still. There's not a lot of cool down
I
from
will offer,
dialogue. You just keep the
I will
dialogue
offer
talking.
I will offer one more example of that, actually. I see two more examples. One of them is actually season 1, episode 4 of The Mutant Girl, when one does the exact same thing Julius did. Actually, both episode 4s, weirdly enough. And also A Cherub's Tale. There was that scene that Aiden doesn't like talking about anymore. That was actually sort of the point, was about the character being like more and more gradually lost. So yeah, I guess we can certainly do more of that as long as Aiden's prepared for the
Yeah,
partake of that, I suppose. Again,
I mean, I could take into
you can
account
do
more
more scenes
alone
like
time
that.
and stuff like that. I mean, keep in mind we do have I do like to include at least once an episode like a moment some character reflecting with another character, like during like there's a scene during episode 3 which
But that's
none of you saw, but
oh,
where Adam
Zach does that a lot, actually. He does get a lot of alone moments, especially during his arc. Yeah.
Zach got a lot of focus there in regards to it. Yeah. Anyways, I kind of want to read some of the chat here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
go ahead.
So Ghost Pikachu says maybe it's my bad, but I can't remember anything that happened. Okay. I mean, I guess I don't know. Did you remember watching? I don't know how much you saw of it.
It's
Anyways,
oh,
do
I
what
think
Prism is
wait,
doing
I
in
want to tell
season
you
2 and
something.
have flashbacks of the Guardians and have flashbacks of episodes in present day. Like like a flashback episode, I guess you're saying. So I mean, maybe a flashback episode, maybe. But again, I said this on stream before. Like Adam's life was very repetitive and kind of sad before he made his decision, because it would be literally that process I mentioned repeated over throughout the episode. Like, I mean, that which would be a sad scene to see. It's just would be kind of repetitive and risk boring the audience, being like, "Oh yeah, Adam's depressed because he has to watch someone else die. Oh, okay, and now he's back home. Oh, now he's talking to someone who thinks he's like dumb or over emotional or something like that. Okay, time to rinse and repeat again. I wouldn't want to bore the audience potentially with like anything with Adam. Like, I mean, flashbacks of like Diogenes could make sense. Flashbacks of any other character except for Adam would make sense, because
I do love the way that Adam is still in your mind the most boring character.
Right, I like
mean,
how you go. I don't want to bore
Adam
the
a
I don't want to
lot
bore the audience with anything involving Adam. I mean,
no.
The lead of the show.
Well, no, it's not that he's boring, but his past is boring. His backstory is boring.
Then give him something more within that.
Yeah, I mean, there's one episode idea I had, which I may factor into season 3, which would be him getting to Scrambler, which could actually be an interesting flashback backstory
with things
episode.
stretching out so long. People won't stay long for that long. Anyway.
Alright, just want to kind of read
That's actually also another reason why I worry about like gaps between episodes. So people wondering like before, like why do I worry about like how much time passes between seasons? That's because that's how YouTube works, actually.
Well,
I'm sure that Aiden understands that.
Season 2 and season 1 have a 2 weeks time jump, which isn't much of a time jump because the way season 1 ended.
I'm not talking about chronologically. I don't talk about in universe. I'm talking about outside of it.
Oh yeah.
Even though you have outside universe gaps, it needs to have a hook. Because one of the things, well, this is from writing standpoint, when I really started researching into how to market yourself as a writer online, I started looking into how to get people to keep up with your book. And they said it's maybe same rule, but it's okay to have like a cliffhanger ending or having like a hook at the end to keep the reader invested. And sometimes you guys episodes kind of don't have that. Like some episodes you guys don't really have like a hook ending, like something to make the viewer want to really watch it again. You just kind of end and like, oh,
that's true.
It's why would I turn into the next episode? Not really much.
Yeah, that goes kind of into my thoughts about the recent Kung Fu Panda announcement, right? So I see that face shake is making stop. So
yeah, I was about to respond to Mona, and then like now you talk about Kung Fu Panda, like that's gonna get lost now.
Yeah, so Kung Fu Panda 4, right? It was recently announced, and my thing is, I just don't know if I'm all that interested. I love Kung Fu Panda. Don't get me wrong, it was good. I think that's a pretty popular opinion, but but the thing is, I think the third closed it off well enough. I mean, I don't think I need to know what happened at the end of that story.
However, I will point out that if you proceed the way that Monet is recommending, it does, at least in fan fictions and other works of art that I've seen, it does lead to more pressure from an audience.
That is true. You do get into the problem that people had with Game of Thrones, where you built up so many good things and you had like all these cliffhangers, and some of them did like really well, and now everyone's expecting something great every single time.
Yes, audiences get mad, and will just continue to pressure you, and it's not good for many creators.
I can speak from this experience because when I left, I went to update my book because this is my update book, and like because I took a break from the book, and the reason it took me a while to get back into it because I used to get comments say please update. It kind of gets annoying to a point, and that's a kind of pressure. But however, when you guys have a very committed standpoint, you guys would write and animate. You guys are very committed to this, to your work to a level like I think you guys can thrive in that kind of environment
Weren't you
of
also committed
doing
in the exact
of
same way to that book you just described?
no. I did it for fun.
Oh.
I was just doing it for fun before it then became a full book. That book, I do things sometimes, and I wrote that book for fun, and then it just started getting it just started getting very popular, and then I just kind of, I got life as you probably know, the life went weird, and then I had to take a break, and then I come back. But when I noticed, I actually noticed though, once you come back, and if you left and you come back, your audience may come back if the book was good enough. If it's a good enough book and it comes back, I will.
The only issue, right, and this isn't so much a problem with YouTube, but I think in a book point, you also have the issue of like, if you don't have a good enough schedule as well with a lot of it, and people are now taking a bit of break, not expecting it to go on, right, or something like that. I mean, you don't have like a bell that you can click usually for your favorite novel series.
That's true.
Yeah, like you're not. It's not going to automatically say, "Hey, book 3's finally been uploaded."
You do get email notifications from some writing websites. The problem is you get email notifications from some writing websites. That's the key.
That's true. Who checks their notification, man?
Fanfiction.net.
My AO3 emails.
I've only recently started looking at my email.
Be full. My AO3 email be full.
I've been deleting
like
100.
For AO3.
I've been trying to delete like 100 emails a day because I just have that many, and I still have like 600 emails lying around. I do not check my email.
Yeah,
Dude,
but
I get like 300 emails in a couple of hours usually.
I will say maybe more maybe if I had the ability to upload, say, weekly or monthly, maybe the series would take off more, but that is impossible for me right now because
that's not a maybe.
Like
that's like a guarantee. You're gonna get at least one or two.
The amount of pressure
you're gonna get at least 1 or 2 more views. The algorithm
would kind of suck. So
can I say one thing?
I can't do that, unfortunately. But I would like to do that maybe one day. Maybe if I ever get
a
big editing team, you know, or like a
Aiden, I was trying to say something.
Yeah.
I don't think any of you have watched Yuri on Ice. However, Yuri on Ice promised a movie when the first season ended, and that was 5 years ago. The first trailer for the movie came out last year. And people are still hyping it up everywhere because the first season was so good. Even though they waited almost 5 extra years or something. Because the first season took 8 years to produce, to make stuff.
That's all right. Us FNAF fans been waiting for a film since like 2015.
Exactly. If a show has a big enough following or is just that good, there will be a following when the next thing comes out. And it's more of like a cake or something and not like a meal you have every day sort of thing.
Which I will say, there is a non-vocal fan base for Fallen Angel. Like, I always tend to get like 40-ish views per video guaranteed normally. So there is a non-vocal fan base for Fallen Angel. They're just,
which I will say,
non-vocal.
At the time of the stream,
which kind of
hang on, I'm going to clarify this. At the time of the stream, that number that Aiden just said is higher than his average viewership on most other stuff.
Yeah, like, I mean, look, I would personally, like, if you're a part of the fan base, if you're part of the Fallen Angel fan base, be vocal, you know, comment, you know, like, talk about the series. I don't know.
That's why we're doing this stream. Want to hear you guys and want to hear you talk.
Make
which,
fan,
by the way, we have
but that's what I'm. Well, that's what I was trying. That actually brings back to my original point. Well, the point I was trying to make with Jacob.
I guess we're not going to read the chat for a while then, I guess. I did say, by the way, we haven't read the chat in a while, referring to the fact that we want the fan base to be vocal, and then we're about to get to something else now.
I was just going to talk about marketing. Like, I feel like the marketing for Fallen Angel, The Mutant Girl, as a show, it needs to step up. Just going to say it needs to step up.
we did talk about this. although I
Not
will
in
say,
the terms of like
we did talk about this in the other stream. Actually, I will mention.
needs-
I mentioned your comment specifically about that.
should I continue or then? No?
No, continue.
I mean, we're trying to read the chats. We're trying to quickly respond to that and move to the chat that's been waiting patiently for a while. Because
Okay,
again, I did
you
say
know
I thought
what?
about
We
this
should just
before.
read the chat, Monet. We'll get to you in a minute, alright?
Right.
Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, I want to. I was going to start from Josh's comment about saying, "What is Mrs. Dysart's sexuality?" Because he clearly is very he clearly very much wants to ask that. I mean,
honestly,
Mrs. Dysart was originally my character.
I don't know. I mean, she could be whatever she wants. She can
Yeah,
be
she's
whatever
definitely-
she wants.
Okay,
I don't-
she's definitely into men because there was a canonical Mr. Dysart in her past, but she could be bi, I know, or pan as Nova suggested afterwards.
Or just
Yeah,
could be not into anybody and dated someone anyway.
I mean, but she has a child,
Well-
so
and then married them.
she
You
has.
don't need to
that's
be
just
sexually
cruel.
attracted to someone to date them.
Yeah, you can marry people you
Yeah,
don't
but
like.
you had a child.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah, you can have a child with someone you don't like.
I mean,
Why
that is what
would
That
Elton
could
she?
inspire somebody.
Why would she?
because your name is Elton John.
Okay, yeah,
Asexuals
true.
can be
Okay,
just
yeah.
rogue or whatever.
Not necessarily.
But yeah, so
Yeah, that to me feels like something too cruel and somewhat manipulative, Mrs. Dysart, to do. Quite honestly.
yeah, I don't like that backstory
Not
idea for
necessarily.
Mrs.
If she had
Dysart.
no choice, then she wouldn't. If it was
Why-
like the best of two,
You can
of
be in
what
a
she
romantic
had.
relationship with someone you're not sexually attracted to.
Okay,
That's
but we're not
not-
talking about
That's
sex.
not what we're saying.
Yep.
We're not talking about. Yeah, we're talking about.
You know
Attraction
what?
suggests that
Let's
someone
change the
doesn't have
subject.
them, like-
Someone named Nicholas came here and said, "Gotcha Live FNAF." I mean, I guess we're talking about Gotcha Live. Nothing about FNAF. I don't do.
Yeah,
Gotcha
and
FNAF
BD briefly
content.
mentioned FNAF for a bit, and we don't want to keep on bringing it up.
Yeah.
No.
Who
Also,
has seen Rise
Josh-
of
wait, before we
Teenage
go on,
Mutant
Josh asked
Ninja
what a scrambler
Turtles?
is.
Haven't seen it. So not really interested in seeing it.
Josh asked
but-
what a scrambler is before. He asked what a scrambler is before, Aiden. That's the question for you.
Oh,
Oh,
a scrambler
can I
is a device that was found in one of Zeus's temple. I haven't actually made up an origin for it yet. That's later lore for me to write. But basically, it could hide the signature of any being from any other being. Basically, like that's how him and Zach are able to be hide because like they got hide since their energies could be sensed and stuff like that. So yeah, be right back, stream.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We.
He's not even leaving the Minecraft playthrough. Okay, I guess we can still talk. So, Mona, do you want to make that point you were getting to now?
Oh, shit. Oh, that point. What was the point again? Oh, yes. The mutant girl needs a hook, and Fallen Angels needs a hook to keep the viewership wide. Like, nobody, like, it's not, the story is not presented in an interesting enough way to get people to want to read it. Not read it, to watch it. It is not
keep saying
presented
that.
in a
Wasn't
way
season
that
two-
gets viewership.
You keep saying that. The musical season 2 was full of intentional cliffhangers for people at the end of the episodes. I deliberately went out of my way to
Yes,
make sure
but
there
it
was-
kind of. Yes, but the cliffhanger was not interested enough.
I think what
They
Monet's
didn't do
saying
a
is that
90
like a cliffhanger is a cliffhanger, right? But like, are you gonna hang on to that cliff if there's nothing all that important afterwards, other that you can tell?
That's the question would be, could you tell? That's the thing, because I don't know. We didn't. That was one thing
Yeah.
that we didn't actually get around to talking about in the other
I will
stuff.
say sometimes in Fallen Angels itself, I
Like,
do
it's
utilize
at the
cliffhangers.
cliffhanger-
I just don't utilize them all the time because I feel like cliffhangers, if you overutilize cliffhangers to a point where if you overutilize them to where every single episode has to end with a major quote-unquote plot-changing cliffhanger, which it may or may not change the plot at the end of the day, then you end up potentially
Not
numbing
necess-
your audience to that, because, like, when, like, say, like, okay, so, like, let's talk about Meta Runner. At the end of Season 3, Episode 1, we had, like, a needle and, like, a claw, like, start to drill into Tori's head, and that's where it ended. But in the most recent episode, Tari started to get back her meta runner skills. One of them didn't end with a cliffhanger, but still compelling in a way, you know, because like it's interesting. There's intrigue there. Because...
Okay, let's also bring up a Fallen Angels example.
Yeah,
There's
but-
one episode of Fallen Angels where literally there's a character we don't know that there's like a different origin to. There's sort of a hint towards somebody, there's some sort of danger to the main characters, that's eventually revealed to be Helen then once the rest of the people confront them, and suddenly for the first time she utters a spell and completely removes there's 3 major antagonists from the vicinity, and there's a moment where they're standing there in complete silence, just trying to take in what just happened and what they just witnessed, and we cut. Is that not a cliffhanger?
That's pretty decent.
That's a cliffhanger, yes. But is the cliff good? No.
I would argue yes.
Why not?
I would argue.
Why not?
How is
It's an
The
alright.
visuals weren't clear. I
It's
remember that
alright.
scene. I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Well, yeah, that's the
Mhm.
I
point of the
couldn't turn heads or
cliffhanger.
toe of the visuals.
Oh,
In-
okay.
one-
that-
So in concept, that
I had
cliffhanger is
no clue
good,
what was going
but
on.
in execution, it was not good.
One
To be
issue-
fair, I
good.
have. Actually, you know what? To be fair, I have actually complained about the visuals and how that scene was handled, specifically from a production standpoint. So I get that.
It didn't make sense. It just
So Jacob, you see where I'm coming from. The concept of that cliffhanger was good. However, in execution, it fell flat.
Okay, what about the time
So-
Key interrupted Adam and Zach meeting, and then Key started to fight Adam? What about that cliffhanger?
Oh yeah, and the sword clashing and the
Okay.
lightning strike and everything.
I would say that
remember that.
cliffhanger was executed well. That one was well, but it was not a memorable one.
One issue I had with
It was a
that-
good one at the moment, but it's not memorable.
One issue I have with cliffhangers, right, is because of course cliffhangers have to lead in the next episode, sure, but
Yeah.
if it's a thing important enough to end an episode and get you wondering why, then I think people also kind of expect it to be important enough to relate to the overarching story as well. And sometimes I feel like it's easy to make a cliffhanger that you don't have like a big plan for how it connects to the end. So I think,
but they have less of a meaning then, right?
yeah. So that's why my thing is for cliffhangers, I don't think I would use them quite so often. I think the
Yeah.
only times I would use them would be if I have a way, like of course they would connect to the next episode. That's kind of required for a cliffhanger, but I think if I were to use a cliffhanger, I would also have the second plan in my head for it ends up tying somehow into the final picture.
I have an equation for impact.
Hmm.
So impact is force times time. If you overuse the time, then the force decreases, and you to have the same impact. Which if blah blah. Basically, it has less of a force.
Right.
And since force is equal to mass times acceleration, the force decreases when you have too much mass involved in the actual like content there, and less of a gravity, because gravity is a type of acceleration. But if the gravity is too strong and you have no mass at the time, then it is simply just the show being the
Be
force.
right back.
You need a balance of the mass of the actual event and the gravity it has on the show.
And to be fair, like when I do have massive plot development, it's normally in the middle of the episode or towards the general end of the episode when plot development actually starts happening. Like in episode 10,
That might be an interesting exercise to then structure the episode differently, or try to find a different break in between them. Then possibly.
maybe, but the general content of the episode is where I like to push a major aspect, is where the plot develops a lot more of the time. Like, I don't like to develop it at the very end, because then I end up would worry about the episode being filler and then just the ending being important, because like I don't want people having to be able to be like skip through several scenes, just be like, oh, it got what I needed to get out of the plot development, you know.
Well, that's why.
You know what? That's a good point. Watch retention. Yeah, you raise an interesting thing there.
That's true, and I think that's where chemistry comes into play, in which you're not only interested in seeing how the characters develop, but you're interested in seeing them now. You want your watchers to, and myself, I'm not great at this, at least in script writing, but I understand the concept and I understand the need that you want them to be interested in what's going to happen to them, but you also want them to be interested when they're talking about how great their breakfast was.
I mean, yeah.
I've now just pictured Julius going on some sort of like narrating spiel and Rena just trying to hide her face in focus.
Honestly, like when
I feel like
it comes to
Sorry.
competitive,
Alternatively, Harvey trying
I
to.
feel like I don't have like a connection with a lot of these characters. Like, you guys introduce characters, but they're not. I don't know. They don't have good. Like, I don't have a connection to them. Like, a lot of them just are there.
Yeah, you
And there's
have
like
to,
nothing there. Is that? Yes, Phoebe?
yeah, I mean, I think the thing is the way you're viewing them as, and I think a lot of times the way they're written as ends up being more as plot devices themselves as opposed to, people.
I
It's
will,
like
however, say
it's
They're-
like
they're like-
talking plot devices.
Yeah,
I would
they're
say
not people
that as much
they're
as
not-
you don't like
with lives.
season 2 of My Street, it would be good to take some input from season 2 of My Street, which, yes, didn't have much impact on like season 4 or something, but it was still entertaining at the time because they had characterization, because they had character, and like.
Oh yeah. For the record, I don't hate all of season 2 of My Street. Like you are right.
There are good parts about season 2 of My Street.
Yeah,
Just
that is
season 2 of My
one of
Street
the
is probably the weakest season.
And you know something? I just realized something. I legit just realized something.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
What epiphany have
And
you
that
had?
right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how a cliffhanger is done.
Yeah, no. I will say,
Oh. I just realized something important.
What?
okay,
Go
but
ahead, please.
but we've discussed about what My Street and AFA in general has done well and not so well. But I think one of the few things that she's done just consistently well throughout everything is that, there's a lot of characters that we see that don't mean absolutely anything. But I'll tell you what, we like Guy.
Because he
Yeah,
has
this
a
is-
character.
Exactly.
This is actually
he
why I get
means
annoyed when people
means
talk about
nothing.
Like,
Yes.
he means nothing to anything. He was there for season 2, sort of, but we liked to see
You
him
guys
make
need
jokes.
comic relief characters.
We like to see him flirt a little bit. We like to see him have a bit of self-awareness. We like to see him tour people around. He didn't mean all that much, but we liked hearing him speak.
It's
Alright,
more of
Mhm.
like that is
And
literal.
I
Like,
can state my realization now after Maya.
yeah, go for it.
Ah.
Like
No,
it's
after
comic
you.
relief in a bundle. It is that basically his only character trait, and that's what makes him a lovable character. However, you try to go for a more realistic approach sometimes. Guy isn't realistic.
Well, okay, but the thing is, when you're sitting there in an actual conversation with someone, the general goal for human interaction is to, have enough retention during the conversation, right? And I think that's where immersion kind of has to kick in. I mean, realistic or not, the goal, I think, there's two goals of the character. One is for them to get them where they need to be, and two, to have. You need to make it so that it's somewhat enjoyable hearing them speak of minute topics.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
I see. Wait,
I call that the duck.
Okay, you say your realization, and then I'll
So,
add a
like,
question. Actually,
I made a realization listening to you guys discuss the My Street season 2.
Mhm.
The problem, like the logic, like Jacob's so into the logic of it, of everything, how everything connects. I don't think if you will be able to write something that has no connection to anything.
I don't have time.
Like
to
certain like
production of this. I don't have time to.
production, but I think that's where the series gets failed. That is where a problem in the series lies. The characters, everything is on the plot, everything to the plot. The characters do not have time to be relaxed and be characters.
I agree, but
the characters do not have a moment to be themselves.
I agree. But
And if you're going to
both
proceed
shows
in
would
making this show and for seasons and seasons, I think you need that's the purpose of filler and bottle episodes.
Yeah,
You're supposed to focus on characterization.
You could do less. Hold on. You
No,
could do
why are
less.
you know what?
You can do less quality animations
Okay.
for like filler sort of things, just so that people can get to know the characters better.
Mhm.
Okay.
Why does there need to be a trade-off?
Because of
the
the slow
time,
production.
Listen.
the thing I've been mentioning this entire time when Mona's been making this point, because of time.
You're but you're talking about time, yes. But in the when you're writing the story, when you're writing a story, you must have moments where they're relaxing.
I will say,
Characterization is a big point in stories.
I will say that whenever I'm writing a normal, like, traditional script, right? I kind of in the same boat as Jacob, in which a lot of things that I do kind of aren't really there unless they end up being important. But and I understand that's kind of a flaw that I have, and I don't know when or if I'll be able to fix that flaw in that type of format. But what I will say is I think the reason is because I'm viewing the characters as extensions of the story as well. But like, I think one of the things that I find easier about like RPGs, for example, right, is because it's the player's choice to speak or abandon a character. It doesn't have to be under one or two people's jobs to write everything. It's the individual characters, so it's easier to let go of these things. I feel like there's a correlation there. I don't know what, but I think there's an important reason I'm saying that.
Okay. I mean, beforehand you did mention that tabletop RPGs were one thing that because you're not worrying about all the visuals and like other aspects of the technicalities in production, that you can actually just focus on those things specifically. So maybe that's why you're bringing that up again, especially in relation to what I'm trying to say before, which is that I would love to do more first stuff. I'd love to explore these characters in much greater detail, but again, if I did that, I'd be there for a literal eternity, and nothing.
No, not necessarily.
Really, it took me a
you're
month
thinking that you have to
restore the quality of
no, hold on. You're taking it as a trade-off. You're thinking that in order for you to include characterization episodes in filler, you need to take out plot time or or extend the time more, which isn't necessarily the case. Because in those episodes, some of those scenes could be cut. Some scenes in some episodes can be changed and cut or expanded on to include more of a characterization. One scene I can say from season 2 that was great for could have had more characterization, but had some characterization was the sleepover scene. I think that was like the one moment in season 2 that actually had some moments where the characters were just relaxing. And I think there should have been more of that due to the nature of the show and what genre it is. It should have had more of those scenes and less of the plot-stricken scenes. And I don't think time would not be taken away if you were to do that. And I know I kind of sound mean right now, but like I'm really being honest.
You sounded somewhat contradicting, because you said that doesn't have to be a trade-off, but then they mentioned cutting or expanding other in other scenes, which is again a different form of a trade-off.
Well, I think it's also because
Again, trying.
I think one hindrance for you, Jacob, ends up being that you don't make super long episodes.
I
So-
mean, Jacob has improved upon that.
again,
When it comes
I
to the
wonder
season
why.
3 scripts and stuff like that,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it takes
like-
long
Even if
enough.
he doesn't make long episodes, check shows like Adventure Time. Check like Steven freaking Universe. Those episodes 11 minutes.
Yeah, but they also have what 50 episodes. Like they have
Not necessar-
unreasonable
no, not-
amount of time to work on it, work on the plot and characters. They can they get like I mean.
However,
like
have
the
you
Fallen
ever watched
Angels-
Adventure Time? Adventure Time be having like two different having like separate like plot lines in that same season.
Yeah, but that's like what, maybe 20 episodes worth? Because if there's two 11-minute segments pushed together to equal an episode, and it's like 10 episodes, then it'd be like 20 episodes, which the Mutant Girl doesn't have 20 episodes, nor do most shows have, like, online shows, except for my
But
show.
what if? Have you ever thought of giving it? What about this? This is like a proposition I just maybe. Piggybacking off of like on that statement. What if you were to give yourself a runtime? You have to have 11 minutes of runtime. That's your runtime. That is where you're aiming to hit. So instead of having 16-minute long episodes and you be burnt out by the end of that episode, because this is what I do. I used to do interfamily thing before I started working on puppetry most of the time now. I used to keep my episodes 4 scenes. That's it. I don't go more than 4 scenes. Reason being is because I feel 4 scenes should be enough time for me to have what events that need to be played out in the episode to be completed.
But then that
I don't go
may
more than
that
4.
but then if having
And
only 4 scenes
it
would
does not
only
burn me
be
out.
boiled down to the plot.
I tried that, but
scenes.
people complained. I tried that, and people complained. I didn't see where they're coming from, but yeah.
Like,
People
like what I do for
People
my
complain
episodes.
because you did not include stuff that was that you did not cut down yourself into a way that was fast paced.
But
Oh,
like
yeah.
what I like to
You
do
say
for
Ada?
episodes is to develop each character, try my best to include each character, but try developing them at least a little bit, like having them interact with each other a little bit during a plot, like even trying to develop the plot at the same time. Like during, I think it was episode 2 of Fallen Angel season 2, we had a scene between Luna, Trevor, and Mrs. Dysart where, like, during that scene alone, we established that they're all researching, and we established that they're all kind of like talking, and we also established that Luna worries about the future and stuff like that, and worries about the whole Abraxas thing. Like, so we already established.
I think the
some
point Mona was
characters
trying to
that-
make before was the fact that there should be scenes that don't establish so many things at once.
I mean, it technically only established like 2 things, but
Mhm.
yeah, but like
That's a lot.
Not really. I mean, like there have been some.
Oh yeah,
scenes-
oh yeah. There's like countless successful TV shows that establish 2 things in one scene. Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Because like if you're going like when it comes to like writing for like a show like a heavy plot like Fallen Angels, the whole point of the show is the plot with the character moments interspliced in between. Like they do get downtime, and I do occasionally, like twice a season I think I have like I always have episodes that are more fillerish / less plot heavy. Like in season 1, technically there were quite a few episodes because season 1 didn't have the plot wasn't as focused on season 1 because I didn't have much of a plot yet because the show was still
Yeah,
new.
I think we should come back to that later, but we'll carry on now.
Yeah.
You really have to think about that though, because it's easy to do one thing at a time, but if you go back and you watch some of your favorite movies and stuff, you do, and you really look at it scene by scene, you do kind of notice how that things shift a lot sometimes. Like for instance, let's go with Return of the Jedi, right? You have that moment where Luke's getting like electrocuted by the Emperor or whatever, right? You got that, but then you also have Vader picking up the Emperor, and that's proving that Vader's also changed his mind. So I mean, you got those two things at once as well, and it's the same scene. So
Yeah, and if you're gonna, yeah, like with the like when it comes to scene writing and stuff like that, like yeah, I mean that makes sense. You know, you kind of gotta have like you can't overwhelm your audience, but you can't underwhelm them by having the scene only serve one minor purpose and not do anything else, because then you run the risk of having a bunch of fluff scenes. Because like you don't want to have too much fluff. Like I guess in my opinion.
There's a balance.
Yeah.
There's always
I
a
do think-
balance.
I do think
things.
that both
Yeah.
both Aiden and I, given the opportunity, would love to do a show like My Street, even like structure wise, especially because
Yeah.
where certain episodes don't necessarily further too much, other ones actually do, but we get to focus on maybe like one character versus another one in a different situation. And
why
keep
can't
on
you
going
make
like that, how they
Mutant
went
Girl
to
into
name
that?
I'm gonna sound like a broken record right now, but
Mm.
fine. See, when the Mutant Girl started, the first episode. I believe it took me 2 weeks. I was like, okay, fine. I don't know what I'm doing at the moment, so of course it's gonna take a bit longer to figure this stuff out, and obviously the results those speaks for itself. I didn't figure everything out clearly. But yeah, I set the things up as soon as the characters as best as I could, and I wanted to carry on in that way. But then the next couple of episodes, they were both set in the same day actually. So I was trying to actually take my time with that, but by that point it stretched out from 2 weeks into a month to make each individual one. I realized if I wanted to actually keep this actually going, and in the meantime, that was when I started actually, talking to more people in the American time zone, therefore losing my sleep at the same time as but at the start still working through drama school, which is quite intensive. Then afterwards going into the first year of university, at the same time. So and obviously everything else that was going on with the channel that I was trying to keep up with. So again, I couldn't actually I couldn't devote the time to that. That's why I keep on saying that, because there did need to actually be a trade-off. I've been told that for most of my life. Actually, there's some things I've actually got to give, and that's why
Yes, but
I continue to sacrifice
characterization for plot.
I continue to sacrifice my sleep schedule, or I found a different way to actually get the season to be produced while still trying to preserve as much as I could as possible.
Well, okay, but like if you want to do a My Story type of thing with that type of structure, right? And it's right now there's a time circle. What makes you think there won't be a time circle by the day you actually decide to do it?
What do you mean by the day I actually decide to do it?
If you actually go through with making something with that kind of structure, will you not have those same time issues?
Well, I finished university now, so that one would not be there, but that would be replaced by a job, ideally. So,
right.
Yeah. So I've been in that situation. I'm stuck trying to actually gain as much of an audience of as I can, and gain more people to help with the production. That's why I keep opening up to new editors, and I've left that open permanently. So that way, I can actually help with have other people, a team to actually help.
But
with.
Isn't that gonna stress you out a little more? Because you're dealing with a lot more people.
See,
Well,
the day that, and I don't know if this is just a pipe dream, Mr. Right, but like, what I'm thinking is I'm hoping that the day that both Jacob and I have a stable job outside of this, right? I'm hoping that the day that we can actually like consistently pay these people, that things might get a little better in regards to how many people we have on board and how hard each individual one will work, and hopefully things will get out a little faster.
Yeah, going back to Akmal's example, as soon as she got a team, her production went up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't
Oh,
think.
okay.
Here's my thing. I don't think your series are at the level where we have got the channel has not reached the point where it has been able to shown substantial growth and activity in not. I'm not talking about posting. I'm talking about activity in like subscriber counts and subscribers interacting, active subscribers, and to the
Yeah,
point
no
where I
doubt.
think
We're
it's
still
wise
here.
to devote. Do you think I'm not even? You didn't even let me finish what I was saying before you said, "Oh, duh."
I don't
It's quite
need to.
irritating.
Like it's like you're telling me stuff that I've already know and I've known for years.
You know what? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna cool down.
Where's
Because I
Aiden?
was trying to read. Because if you've known it for years, then why do you still think so? Things like that.
Why do I say things like that? Because I've been telling myself that for a long time. So of course to me it's
Mm-hmm.
obvious. You tell me stuff, things like this as if this is new information. So of course, yeah, it's gonna be
Then why
like
don't you try something new to change that?
well, I mean, if I had the solution, if I had this something new to try,
Because to me, you're just
then I
beating
would
a dead
try it.
horse. Eh.
Well, I have actually tried to start other
And
projects, but they haven't taken off, or again, I haven't had the time to devote myself to them.
maybe I feel like the strategy needs to change. There needs to be a change in the strategy or the way you present it to the audience. Because I'm just saying that it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over. You're still presenting the show the same way. I think the only show that I've seen like a try something different was Alpha Witch Academy because it had a different style, had a different feel. I think that show really had something going for it. Like even
I mean,
if it
that's good.
was it did
It's
not
good.
post
I hope so.
often, I find that even if it didn't post as often as people as scheduled posting, it still had an interesting storyline that was hooking, and it was it's quite like people are looking for that kind of stuff. For you, you're trying to do a very original story talking about a mutant girl. So you have a unique challenge where you're trying to sell someone on something
That is true. That
and you're
is
not really selling yourself that well.
that's
Okay,
true.
so hold a
I think
second.
that's why a
Without-
lot of people prefer making fanfics over actual books, for example. Because like for a fanfic, it's already based off
Yeah.
material that people know. But I think making an original story comes with its own risk. But
Yeah.
Okay, hold a second. Before we get into fanfics and stuff, because there is some truth to that. Beforehand, I'm trying to remember. You contradicted yourself again about something. I'm trying to remember what it was now.
Of course, I contradicted myself. I guess whatever.
I do have to wonder though, Jacob, in the instance that Gacha no longer gets like new games, right? What do you do at that point? Are you going to keep making Gacha, or will you switch it over to a different medium?
Isn't that kind of like asking what happens if Mojang stops updating Minecraft?
Not
I mean, yeah,
necessarily,
a little, but like,
because Minecraft has reached a stance where it can set at 10 time. Like look at Machinimas. Sims ain't really that hitting that much, but like you doing Machinimas, they getting them views if they're really nice.
that's true. Although,
Like
speaking of
you
Machinima,
go,
because you have a point with Machinima and how well that's done. Machinimas used to be the go-to for everyone, and now it is actually kind of more of like an indie thing again.
To answer your question,
Mhm.
actually, about about if I would change the medium or something, I don't think I would change the medium, but maybe I would stop marketing it as gacha. I would just market it as just a series
Right. Okay.
and keep it at that. Because yeah, obviously no point relying on the name of gacha to market it if it's not gonna market to that, or there's no community surrounding gacha itself. Just actually have people pick up on that. Maybe don't have even heard of gacha. That might even be even better, quite frankly. People haven't away from all of the controversy surrounding it. Obviously, that won't. Obviously, gacha's not going anywhere for some time in the public conscience.
Oh, sure. I mean, I was just wondering
Honestly,
because Gacha, I don't know. I just get this feeling that like Gacha won't be like like it won't stay around as long as a lot of other things for some reason. Like I feel like a new version won't be made after a few more, you know, because unlike Minecraft, right? Because one thing that's different about Minecraft is that Minecraft is doing it more in like an update way, which is a bit weird considering it's already confirmed. It's already considered a full release, and they still have completely whatever. I don't think it should be considered having a full release. Whatever. But either way, that's having more of like an update thing, right? But whenever they make Gotcha, it's like they're making like a whole new system for it, and I feel like eventually
It
they'll
does get a
have
few
to.
random updates, but you're right. Most of the time, it's just new games.
Yeah, and I feel like that's
yeah.
kind of a detriment because they expect like something huge,
I
but
will say, Luname did kind of shoot us all in the foot, actually, with the release of Gacha Club to an extent, because Gacha Life is actually still a bigger search name, but doesn't have as many options.
yeah,
But something in keeping with BB's point, Gacha in itself has been slowing down unless you innovate. Like you use Gacha in a different way. So you
to be
see
fair,
how you see how tweening is like a whole different thing. They're like making them move animation like that. That's a different way. A lot of people are following that now, but I feel like there's gonna be a new trend that's gonna come out soon. Like Gachas has been on this trend for like a year or so with tweening and
I mean,
such.
I certainly hope there's a new
So
trend.
I think
I can't do that one.
yeah, because there's a new trend they're gonna go out, and I feel like it's gonna blow up soon. Not sure what
Well,
it's gonna
frankly-
be, but
Frankly, I look forward to that.
although to Jacob's credit in regards to innovation, I mean, you know, it's a little more normal now, but like, I mean,
Voice
back
acting
when
Gacha in general.
yeah, the voice acting is kind of special.
And
at
also,
the
yeah,
time.
use of animated mouths, animated poses. Most people using mobile couldn't even do that. It's actually codified to this day.
Yeah, I don't.
And the
I
series
think-
started getting more traction after that became more normal.
One issue I have with Gotcha is just because, like, as far as I'm aware, they don't allow you to make like custom backgrounds and stuff, do they?
You could green screen.
Nope. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what
I mean,
green
that's-
screen for. Yeah.
I feel like that's a little.
yeah,
I mean, I don't think everyone's gonna have that much patience. I feel like they should really get on that.
Yeah,
Because I think
there's a reason why it takes so long for us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but I think that's one thing with Gotcha and why it's slowed down a bit is because it's always the same background and stuff. I mean, you aren't really getting new settings, are you?
the people who want to innovate, sometimes actually can't because they either don't have access or the money or or the know-how that some
Well,
way
well,
Well, I know that's why I'm saying I feel like Gotcha
Ooh.
as the series should really put in consideration considering that the only people using the app are people who are trying to make content.
yeah, and the
can
ones
I
who
say something after?
have the skills
Yeah.
that most people just don't have any accessibility to. So gone are the days when somebody can make a Taming the Bad Boy, for example, with the production level that it had, and get the traction that it did.
Mm-hmm. All right. What were you saying?
Okay, I used to watch a lot of machinimas when I was young. This is probably like 2013, 2014 kind of
Yeah, Machinima used to be
2013,
big.
2014. Machinimas were big back then. That was my sole entertainment. So I used to be mostly into like, those open world, dress your character kind of machinimas I used to watch. One particular I used to watch was Sims and stuff. Guys, I think I brought up already. Sims machinimas used to look like shite. When I say shite, this shite.
Yes, you can say that. I mean,
Yes.
it's my channel as well. I don't
I'm-
actually mind real life swearing.
Yeah, this isn't on
I just-
Jacob's channel. I don't think
We will eventually get back to Fallen Angels, people.
Oh.
Don't.
Yeah, sorry
Was
about
that
the
bad?
kind
I
of
couldn't
stuff.
say that. That was too close.
you
that
can
was
s-
too close to swearing.
No, you can say that.
No,
I don't mind if
we're-
you literally
yeah, we're
swear on
not-
my channel. This is my channel. I don't
Yeah,
really
we're literally
care.
saying the opposite.
Yeah, we're not on Jacob's channel. We can say fuck if we want.
Okay, let me finish. Yeah, it was absolute shite. But I'm gonna say, but the story overcome the animation, because Sims 2 1 was very meh. The most popular and long running Sims Machinima started in 20. I can't remember. I think it was 12 years ago. I'm not doing calculations. 12 years ago, I believe it came out.
2010.
And it is now 2010. I think I started watching 2013. So this is the longest running Sims Machinima. It's still running to this day. And its animation was trash. Its show was just trash, but the story was interesting. And it got people to watch it. People watched it and it grew. Okay, it was like one of the most popular Machinima series out there at the time.
You know, this is exactly what people
And
said
this,
ago, right?
Well, yeah, but that's
No,
why Mone's
don't-
saying it.
yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
a comparison between what we're
Well,
talking
I'm
about in Machinima.
Yeah, because since Machinima was deemed as nothing, but if the story is good enough, people will stay. If there's enough interest in such a story, people will stay despite the animation's flaws. Heck, there are shows on cable TV and streaming stuff that have terrible animation, but people still watch them. I think this is more early on animation though, like 2010. I don't have no
yes,
memory of that. I was too
animation
young for
was-
that. But I
animation
heard it
was
in history.
Really.
No, that's not animation when you're young. I'm just talking about like there's a lot of adult comedy shows that that did not have much good animation, but they got a lot of traction because their story and their comedy was good. So I'm just saying, when you're doing shows, the characters of the show, let's talk about characterization, needs to be strong. Because if a person can connect to your characters, they will come to see what's going on in your character's life, no matter how mundane it is. Because it's the character they like who's in it, and they're watching it. Because I
Here's
watch
what
a
gets
show
another thing.
for characters. People have. Can I finish first?
I'd
Or you
rather,
want to
I'd
interject
rather,
again?
yeah, I'd rather interject because it is rated precisely this. I mean, otherwise we're gonna forget. So you do say that about the characters and stuff, and that has been my philosophy with the music, especially during season 1 when I just did not have the knowledge and I was trying to work that stuff out. All I had to rely on at the time was actually the fact that I had some head starts in writing compared to the rest of the Gacha community. However, you also said before people sitting Gacha now are the ones who innovate. So thinking about that from that aspect, it goes into
I don't think.
night as well because of you talking about story being the thing to carry stuff, but then also thinking also that sometimes it doesn't actually produce the best market results. From a marketing perspective is the way to go about it. In the way you phrased both of those things, the thing now and the one last night, you phrased it like you can't have them both.
Because it's in truth, sometimes you can try to have it both. It's just you have to strike your own balance. You have to strike a balance, and that's why Meeting does not have a balance. It has not struck its balance in finding its way its place in the gacha.
Actually, I
Because
just
let's say
remembered
the
what
most
I was saying
popular
before.
gacha series right now.
I remember what I was going to say before. Now the thing that I forgot, it was related to you talking about how you said the Mutant Girl hasn't actually changed in that regard. Is that but also the fact that you said there's a clear contrast between season 2 and season 1. So not only was that,
And I said that in relation to thematic genre. The creating in genre.
Yeah, you said both of things to genre.
Okay, so
But yeah, that is what I was trying to say. It doesn't have a balance. It has a struck. It's placed in the gacha. It
Yeah,
needs
so
something.
I
It needs
literally
like
tried.
something new. And I
Yeah, that's
feel
what I
like you
literally
guys
did in season
writing
2.
your
I literally
season
did
so way
that.
ahead, it limits the ability. It limits the ability to have great change.
That's
Because you
Okay.
guys
I
really
I
written
can
the whole movie.
Okay, I do agree
I
with you
Yeah,
there
because
because
you guys
actually that
done
is
wrote
something
it.
that
So
I
what's the point? What's the point of hearing me now? What's the point of me voicing my concerns from season 2 if you already have to? You don't have a movie written and season 3 in the works. Like you talk about implementing my
because
ideas in season 4, but then that's not gonna proceed nothing into the next season. It's gonna still
I
have the
agree with
same
you on
problem as
that.
as pointed out in season 3.
that's
In the
fair.
movie, it will always have that problem until
That
Okay,
is fair because
so A, the scripts can change. B, I realized this a while ago and told A, and that's why I wanted to stop writing the series until we actually caught up. And it's also one of the other reasons why I'm so anxious to catch up. And C, if you really saw no point to talking about these things and thinking they weren't going to change, you wouldn't be here right now.
yeah,
no, I mean, the reason why I'm here right now is because I'm just trying to talk. I'm expressing my feelings. I don't expect, honestly, to be perfectly honest, I don't expect anything I say to have impact, really. I'm really truly just saying this because I feel like it should be said. If you choose to take what I said and apply it, that's good. That's on you if you choose to do it. If you choose to ignore me, that's fine too.
It would be kind of redundant
I'm
if
not.
we just opened up an entire stream and took taking people's opinions and didn't action any of them. I will say that.
Heck, cartoon developers do that all the time. Because product developers do it. Things. So like it's kind of like not like unheard of.
yeah.
That doesn't mean that it's the correct thing to do. Definitely.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, it's not great, but I mean, yeah, I guess it is kind of common.
All right, you heard that, chat. We're doing nothing different now. Season 3 staying exactly how it is.
I know
But,
you guys always talk about in the future, in season 4, in season 6. I know some of them are jokes. Like I understand some of those are jokes. I understand, but some of those are very serious, and that's kind of worries me in a tiny bit because you're
well,
about
I
to
mean,
commit so
for
much
Mutant
time
Girl, it
to
really
something
makes
that you're not.
sense. For Mutant Girl, that
It
running
makes
joke
sense,
makes
yeah.
sense because the whole gag is that it's the like longest running gotcha show. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny. You're like, oh yeah, season 20.
Yeah, that's the claim to fame that ended up with.
But I feel like
first of the
there
boys
should be something to happen. I
However,
feel like
on
some of
that
these
note,
it needs to something. It's missing something, and I don't end it for the night. I'm kind of tired, and my head. I have a headache now.
okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, another cliffhanger.
But
but
anyways,
no. On that note, I do. Shoot, what was I saying? I had a point. I know I had a point. Shoot. Whatever. Jacob, not Jacob. Aiden, you say what you're gonna say. It'll come to me.
I was just gonna say, like, I kind of feel like the stream got off topic and we started talking more about the mutant girl, if anything.
I agree.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, this
what
is
I'm
related
saying,
to.
I was just
But
trying to go in
even
general.
if what you're saying can be applied to Fallen Angel, you're not applying it to Fallen Angel. You're applying it to the mutant girl.
Okay, let me apply to Fallen Angels. Okay, I'm sorry, Aiden. I feel
it's
I
fine,
taking
but
over
it
the
needs to be
And I'm
pointed
sorry,
out.
chat. We're not going to get to you in
I
about
can
a million years now.
I can apply it to the Fallen Angel. I'm ignoring Jacob right now. Jacob is being ignored from me right now.
Much like the chat is.
But
It's gonna be a conversation.
in order
tonight,
to be
God.
yes, feel the burn of the chat. I don't care. Anyway, I don't care right now.
It's like exercise and feel the burn.
The Fallen Angel. For Fallen Angels, I can say that if it's just storytelling, I hope Jacob told you the exact thing I told him. Fallen Angels has a good hook. It has a very good, compelling, interesting story. It's it's original but familiar. So it's good for audience building. It is good on those aspects. You have good characterization for like Alana. Alana has good characterization, and Helen grows because of Alana. Helen is not like a main character; it's kind of like a side character antagonist. So like, it's understanding she don't have like moments like that, but she has good moments with them, and she grows. And I like that about Fallen Angels. That is what I can say that characterization was done well. However, I feel like that Fallen Angels falls is when again the conciseness of it and also the fact that Adam, the main character, isn't being main character-ish.
Do you want to talk about episode 2, actually? Because you mentioned episode 2 today.
Wait, me or her?
Episode 2. Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Episode 1 of Fallen Angels was good. Fallen Angels had a good, strong episode 1. Especially in the remake, it had a very good strong episode 1. However, in episode 2, however, it kind of just dropped. Like it just became a fallen angel at that point. It kind of dropped, and it took a while to build back up. Like I find that when episode 6 and 7 is where it actually picks back up, but the ending kind of screwed it over. Like
I think Josh had the exact same
if
thing.
you like 6 and 7 was solid episodes, and it gave a lot of like future hope for the episodes. And then it was okay after that. It progressed okay. However, in the last episode, I feel like things fall apart. Like things were moving a little too fast. Like things were happening a little too fast.
Okay.
It was just going a little too fast. People dying, people becoming an archangel. Too much things happening in that finale that it should have been a two-parter. And it should have been a two-parter finale.
Okay.
Yeah,
like, it really should have been separated and be able to expand more. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a thing that plays content in general, where the first part of something always ends up being, it's generally pretty good, but a lot of times it'll slow down after that, and I don't entirely know why that's so common.
And I will say that is partially the fault of me not knowing what I wanted to do exactly for a series, because that's why planning for me is more important, because like if I'm not planning things out, then you end up with Fallen Angels episode 1 through 6 pre the gate beginning to become a storyline, a part of the storyline, like because then you end up with a more unfocused story, which, I mean, granted there was a focus on Helen, and I would consider them two separate arcs. Episode 1 through 3 I would consider the origins arc, or whatever you would call like the beginning arc, and then the second arc would be like episode 3 through 4. I mean,
unless the focus might have worked to its advantage, remember, because that's what I was saying before.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Like people tend to feel like they prefer the focus. I mean, you like the idea of it being unfocused, or not unfocused, but focused on other things. And other people, from what I've heard, tend to like it focused when it was actually focused on the actual story. So I don't know. I feel like it's more of a personal taste thing, because my personal taste is a focused narrative, which I like doing more of a focus on a narrative than anything, because like that's what season 2 is strong suit is right now for me, or at least in writing, because like there's actually the focus on the narrative. Like each episode tries to develop the narrative or a character arc, or tries to do something for the story, you know, because it makes the most amount of sense. Like, or at least that's what I try to do with each individual episode. Like episode 1 focus on setting up the new status quo and like where we're going with the story, you know. And then episode 2 focused on the characters' interpersonal struggles and where they're going from here. And then episode 3 focuses more on a new character and developing his idea and like his whole deal, and then episode 4 deals with. Episode 4 is closer to a filler episode, but still has some character implications with Zach. So,
and also includes Helen's magic revelation as well, and a bit of Adam's backstory. And more of Zach's internal struggle.
Episode 4 does? Actually, wait, it does. It's been a while since I've reread.
And exhibits Alana's trait of trusting people at first, and then, obviously, because she's not so used to being a fugitive yet, or the idea of.
No, I mean, I was talking about season 2. I was talking about season 2.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Like that was season 2 discussion where it was actually focused. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, yeah. But that's generally what I'm trying to aim for. Like with Fallen Angel, like I really want a story. Like I really want the story to be interesting, and that's like my main priority. Like the characters also matter a lot, but like the story, I try to have a story with the character arcs fitting within that story. Is my writing style, at least narratively speaking.
I mean, the story does come from the characters, so
Yeah.
that's the idea of writing, essentially. That's one of the things that I actually learned like years and years ago from one of my friends from secondary school. Because actually like back this is back in the days of like me writing Erasmus the Elf, for example. So like way back when.
I have that book.
Yes. So actually that was one of the things there was the fact that I was focusing more on plot than characters in that one, and then like that's when my friend actually told me about that and why that was not the way to go about that. And that's then afterwards, of course,
And you still to go about the other way.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I'm done progressing from that.
Well, honestly, what I don't really like is I don't write. Like me and Jacob will never write a story together, a series together. We will conflict too much.
Why not? I mean, conflict can be good. I mean, me and BB have very different writing styles, and we're very different narratives.
That's true.
That's
true. That's the whole reason why him and I are actually working on the project, because I'm really good at writing. I'm good at having the certain ideas. I have decent ideas, and a lot of them end up going into some decent, darker stories, which isn't usually where he goes.
I just invited Maya to join me in a project, and I'm pretty sure she's going to flip that on its head somehow.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
I mean,
honestly.
different people working on a project
I don't know. I don't like
yield interesting results.
Me personally, I don't like. I think me and Jacob are bumping all the time, and I don't think my creative basis is kind of out there. I don't know.
Yeah,
you also say
did
you say you like debating? You also said you like debating, though.
Yes, but I'm tired of debating with you.
Though conflict,
I'm kind of tired.
Conflict is
I kind of want some silent moments,
You said that. You get
peace.
Yeah.
Though conflict is kind of an interesting thing in writing, because there's a certain limit for me, at least. I don't know if it's for everyone, but for me, where I don't mind conflict, right? But I will silently throw a fit if the concept that I have, right, at the very least, assuming that I'm a decent, or assuming I'm supposed to be a decent part of the production, right? If I have like a vision, right, and I'm supposed to provide ideas or something, I kind of just throw like a silent tantrum, because it's like, because I don't like whenever it's just a flat no. I like to try and bargain with whoever I may or may not be writing with. So I do kind of have that issue where I get really possessive over stories. So whenever it comes to stories, like Aiden and I will tend to we as opposed to us just saying no to each other, we tend to end up having bargains about when things are replaced, or how, and to what degree, as opposed to no to this character, no to this story, no to this flashback. Like, in fact, we recently had a debate about a flashback last writing session. I don't want to say what the flashback is, but we had a debate about the flashback, and I don't like doing flashbacks. I don't like doing them, period. But Aiden really was passionate about it, and I didn't want to do it so much, but we ended up agreeing that that if we're gonna do it, that we should that we could put it at the beginning, so that way it flows a little more chronologically.
I will say this is a compliment to Aiden's like evolution with writing with other people. Like especially when we started doing Fallen Angels. There was a bit more of like, you know, stuff, if the stuff didn't actually make sense, I have to push like quite a lot more to actually try and fix it or try and work some way around it, or he wasn't as confident in idea. I had to try and make sure that I wasn't actually hijacking something too much, or and alternatively, when he was actually in the same position of trying to help other people, some people weren't as confident as actually saying no when the time called to him. So stuff with the exception of the shooting girl from back then ended up actually taking a toll on the people. So it's good to know that actually now that's not an issue anymore.
And you just highlighted the reasons why I cannot write with you. Like just re-highlighted them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because you fear that
Even though it would have been nice.
Yeah,
No,
I
because
think
the way I write, I do not stick to a plan. I just go. Like I just go off.
Yeah, but
because I develop my characters first, and I know my characters. Because one thing I learned when I was in drama, develop your character so well that you don't really so well that you know your character inside out, and that's just what I do. I develop my character so well. I don't really need to really. I can really write from their voice.
yeah.
I can really write from their voice very well.
Yeah, Aiden and I are kind of, or well, not and I in this case. Aiden is similar to that in a way, in the sense that if you let him write, he'll write. I mean, the lines may have varying degrees of quality, but he'll just keep going and going. Especially when like we were making a character list, right, for this series, and it's such a long list. We just went off. But me, on the other hand, the reason why he's so like incredibly helpful is because with a traditional script, I'm terrible. I cannot write individual lines. It just does not happen. I have an idea. I know individual scenes. I have good concepts. I know the imagery. I know what flashes I want to appear. I know the artistic style I want to do with, but I can't execute it. I can tell you how the story beats go. I can't tell you when a character says hi.
Oh, you have. I see the problem.
So Aiden and I, whenever
we're
working
that problem
together,
a lot of people do.
Yeah, so whenever Aiden and I are working together, it ends up blending surprisingly well.
Yes.
So you got one on dialogue and one on imagery.
Yeah. Because we end up, coincidentally, both having strengths that the other doesn't, so.
Yeah, that's a good partnership.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was thinking about reviewing the chat now. Finally, I've been kind of neglecting that.
Yes,
oh yeah,
please.
how backlogged is that? Wait.
Oh god.
A long time, a long way.
Oh, I'm gonna excuse myself for a bit. Bye.
All right. Have a good day. Or
Okay.
night, I guess.
Episode
Bye.
1.
I may or may not
episode
join back.
7,
Who knows?
episode
And I'll probably
8.
only get to read the chat after
Alright.
you've gone.
Yeah, how far back
keep
was
your
it?
shots to yourself, Jacob, right? Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna start with this comment from Josh after Nova says hello desktop. Anyways,
Jacob, you're gonna be in so much trouble tonight.
Anyways, Trevor, Luna,
Oh, I
Mrs.
don't care.
Dysart, and Harvey
Okay.
are kind of not really important in the season. It's more about Adam, Zach, Helen, and Alana. But Alana spelled wrong there, but sure. This season more than them. I mean, I will say most of the main focus is going into those characters over them. Granted, Trevor and Luna play a massive role in the next episode, so look out for that.
I will say, one thing that Monet did mention to me, that she didn't actually talk about here, was that you said that it was actually okay if certain characters do take a back seat, even if they are the main character at one point. Because they talked about Morwenna taking a back seat in season 2 as an observation rather than a point to actually necessarily address. So I guess that is fine. You can actually eventually kind of highlight other people first. I feel like, again, if we actually had more time to do any more like less plot related stuff, that problem could actually get resolved.
Honestly,
But I still insist that,
depending on season 2 and how it goes and how it keeps going, I may genuinely consider adding more episodes to season 3, but that's only if season 2 continues to go all right and I manage to do a decent production rate with it. But but that's only if.
When you say that, what do you mean add more episodes? Like write new episodes, or
no? I mean like add more episodes to future seasons. Like have season 3 say 14 episodes versus say.
Okay, because I didn't want it, because at first it sounded like you're just gonna write new episodes.
Oh no, that would be so awkward because like season 2 has a really tightly woven narrative, so forcing in new episodes would be kind of hard because I'd have to be really minute with it. Be like, I mean, I could do this here and just say this happened here. That would be very hard. Anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel like Nova says I feel like I'm listening to a looping I'm listening to a podcast with looping video playing. Yeah, I just kept hopping around.
It did kind of become more of a podcast.
Will there be new characters introduced in Fallen Angels season 2? Will the new characters introduced in Fallen Angels season 2 be in Fallen Angels season 3? Yeah, I mean at least some will. Maybe not all, but who knows? Ooh. Shows use cliffhangers for episode 1. Show uses cliffhangers for episode 1, episode 7, episode 8, episode 9, and the final episode. Oh, so I did use cliffhangers.
This is what I was saying before about when Monet listed off cliffhangers and such, that Josh has said something similar in a comment.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm ready for the
Can you bring back the previously on Fallen Angels? I missed that because it was helpful for a season like Fallen Angels season 2. Maybe. Like
I'm ready for Agatha to move series once she reaches her 20s, and she's gonna be like this badass Oracle in Fallen Angels season 10.
I will say Fallen Angels does eventually get an Oracle-like character. So sorry Agatha, but you wouldn't have that role. That role's already.
No. Just change one of their names to Agatha. It's
I was withholding that comment. Actually.
Yeah. No. Well, the show gets an Oracle-like character. So eventually. So, yeah, no.
Yeah, I forgot if she was actually already introduced or not. But yes.
No, she isn't introduced yet. So I can't say her name, obviously.
That's fine.
And
then Loon lost the game file, so Gotcha Club is dead. That's
because
you did say that. I don't know how you don't back those up.
Previous episodes. Yeah. Well, you know what, Josh? Okay, if you ever are struggling with the episodes, if you're ever struggling with what happened last episode, I recommend watching last episode. It gives me views.
This is what I was saying. This is what I was saying before about like how people watch The Mutant Girl and how I realized that when I worked at season 2, because that's why it was structured the way that it was.
I do recommend actually rewatching episodes and stuff like that because the episodes, the way the plot structured. I mean, I don't know, the plot flows a lot of times. So if you wanna rewatch, that would be cool. Pretty Plays was here. What is the title for our next episode of Fallen Angels? The Angel Who Forgot, which has been actually name dropped before, but that actually becomes the title of next episode. So episode 3. Hey, it's just like history focusing on the story more than the character. It's just like whoever's our history where we focus more on the story than the characters. Aiden, are you still here? Yes, I'm here. I can relate with BB having a lot of imagery and concepts of the story, but having no idea detailing. It's pretty much me, but my artwork instead. Well, Pretty Please. If you ever want to collab on a series, I'm
I mean,
actually
yeah, just
like in all seriousness, when it comes to anyone, I'm willing to collab if you want to collab ever, like on a series. Like we can make up a new series or something like that because like
to be honest, didn't we say that we were gonna do something like something like a My Street like YouTube, it's like some other versions of that actually.
yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud, we've got so many ideas of that variety. Goes back into what we were saying about people who are trying to do fan fiction and such. Although we have got plenty of OCs in the middle of there, so it's kind of a mixture.
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
think we addressed all the chat, or at least all the questions in the chat.
We have. Yeah.
So
Awesome.
yeah, I mean,
That was so quick. I thought it was going to take way longer, actually.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm ready to pretty much end the stream here, unless you guys want to talk about more stuff. Because I think we covered pretty much everything, right?
Okay. One thing that I actually, well, it's two things I'm going to say. What we haven't talked about the fact that Fallen Angels, as far as gacha shows go, I think is probably the most like complex and philosophical ideas in it out of any of them, because that was the point, like, you know, the nature of death itself, you know, that's about as universal a concept as you can actually get, and the clash of ideologies between Adam and the somewhat archaically structured angel society. That was where I think a lot of people were trying to see that kind of hook from that Moni was talking about before, about Adam specifically, especially because it was going to be like, oh yeah, what is he going to do now? Are they going to catch him? Does he have an actual plan beyond just leaving? If you got the scammer 40 years ago, he might have had some sort of idea. Does he have an interesting interest in how the reforms are going to go? Because he's more extreme and he's more action based as approach than Diogenes, who is obviously, you know, dialogue and conversation.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like honestly, I'm still working out all the philosophicalness. Like the philosophicalness, especially, I plan on reincorporating a lot more. But part of the Angel Society, like a theme of authoritarianism. Like, okay, so like for example, we first start with like season 1 setup with the authoritarian Angel Society, which doesn't want things to change and is unquestioning, you know, with it. And then we have season 2's main conflict, which is the polar opposite.
Let's add communism. I want to add communism.
Okay, you know, I'm just gonna finish my thought and just be perplexed by your statements. But like season 2, like the main conflict is literally about radical change and about how extreme and how far Abraxas is willing to go to get his goal across, not unquestioningly potentially hurting people, but not caring because, you know, it's his goal. You know, why not complete it? You know what? It's for the greater good, you know. So, I don't know. Those are like two philosophies that each season is like tackling at a time, you know? So, yeah. How are you going to expand on Mrs. Dysart's character development in Fallen Angels? Now,
is Mrs. Dysart like a Fallen Angels character now or something? Am I that behind in Fallen Angels?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yes, she went to Fallen Angels. Anyways, point B, like Mrs. Dysart, as far as her overall character development, she doesn't have an arc this season. Like this season, she doesn't have a massive arc. Like her arc is basically trying to help Alana. Like that is her arc. But that's the closest thing she has generally to an arc. Like her as a character, unlike Adam or Zach, doesn't have a full-on fleshed out character arc. You know, so yeah. Why are there more male angels than female angels? It's just the characters I just come up with, honestly. Like when I come up with characters, it's just what I come up with in the day or the moment, you know. It's just like I don't really think about the characters generally creating them. Like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna create a character. Oh, I need an angel.
Yeah, see now Aiden says that.
Yeah.
See, now Aiden says that the real reason is probably just because it's a lot easier to make characters that reflects parts of yourself.
I mean, maybe, but not really. I mean, I just think about character archetypes or arcs or storylines, and I just attribute like male or female to that, and I don't really care if it's male or female because like none of my stories are gender based. It's not like I have a story where it's like, oh, this character's female, therefore, that they have to deal with this specific gender specific struggle. When rather I deal with more general struggles regardless of gender. So, yeah, so if there just happens to be more male angels than female angels, it's just a coincidence. And just happen to just pick male over female more often, I guess, for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I relate more with the characters. Who knows? Ooh, I
You do. Adam is literally A, your OC, B, gay, C, male. I like...
He was inspired by me, but he's also not me because I am not as reckless as Adam. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit reckless, but that's beside the point. Anyway,
Yeah?
Listen, I kind of relate with Adam, but I also don't relate with Adam because I wouldn't do what he did because I'm not. I don't know. But I don't really know what else to add to stream. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I think everyone said their piece. Jacob.
Well, Jacob's dead.
Oh yeah, Jacob's talking, but we can't hear him.
Oh, Jacob's...
Like, I see his mouth moving.
Oh, Jacob's been talking? I didn't know you was talking.
Oh yeah, I saw his mouth moving. Well, just now anyways. I wasn't looking at the screen earlier, but after you asked if we all said our piece or whatever, I did check. Yeah, he was talking. It seemed like he was talking quite passionately as well.
I feel bad for Jacob. So, like, we can't hear him, and he's like talking passionately. Oh, his mic died.
Yeah, okay. He says battery ran out.
Yeah,
Wait,
sorry, we couldn't
wireless
hear
mic?
you for the longest time. Sorry, Jacob.
Why a wireless mic?
But yeah.
Oh, I don't like the look he just gave the camera. Oh, I feel like I'm in danger.
Pretty Plays says
Ah,
we could work on
I'm
my idea
scared.
for avoid paradox from my street once I get at analysis finalized. I pick a essay. I picked up my essay recently and started correcting errors. I always wanted to make that series. Oh, cool. I'll be up for that.
Jacob was asking about what people think of Abraxos because Fallen Angels for him worked better without a real villain.
Oh. I mean, personally, like with the villain, it gave me an actual structure to work along for.
Yeah, it's easy to have like a specific person in mind, but like, I don't know. I mean, I can't talk about the thing whatever.
I mean,
I think it's a fun exercise to have non-specific villains. I like having more abstract things.
True, but that's what the individual character struggles I do put into them are for.
And in regards to Fallen Angels, we were talking about this in the Mutant Girl stream, but I mean, yeah, I'd like to see things happen in the afterlife and them affecting things in the mortal realm.
Oh wait, BB. Oh, after the stream, I want to talk to you about something.
Okay.
But well, you too, Jacob. There's some stuff I want to talk to you about the fairy series later. But yeah.
Well, I don't know how much Jacob's gonna be able to talk. His mic's dead.
She can talk through text. It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, all right.
Anyways, be the Jacob interpreter. So yeah.
He's also hungry.
Well.
You tell him, Jacob.
Anyways.
As I die. This is what I get for my ego.
Yes. Anyways, what's your plan for Zach's character? His character development, is unfolding as we speak. So, you know what? his storyline we haven't really touched upon. I mean, well, we touched upon it, but we haven't gone full in depth with it. Episode 2 is his first step into the development he gets this season. So yeah. So I can't really tell you that. Like, I mean, I could probably tell you all the development each character goes through, but that would kind of be spoiling their development and kind of ruining the point of watching the show and seeing them actually develop. So yeah. What did I say? I don't know what I said. Anyways,
Is Fallen Angels Season 2, Episode 3 almost close to being done so you can schedule it?
Yes, I need to score it and stuff like that, and obviously I need to write the description and stuff like that. I need to add some angles on the scene. But yeah, it should be coming out realistically tomorrow would be my goal.
Realistic, Jesus, that's such a... That's so much closer than literally anyone would tomorrow. Okay. Wow, you just do not give release dates in advance.
Well, I just got the song today, and I need to finish putting the episode together. So yeah. Anyways,
bro, Josh was expecting like next month or something. Probably not tomorrow.
Is it? No, actually, it's like gonna be what, 14 minutes, 15 minutes. It should be somewhere around there. I don't know. I haven't put the full episode together yet, so I don't know at the moment.
I see something. I don't like how Jacob says we don't like to wait, BB, remember, as I look at his screen, and every once in a while, whenever it stops being so grainy, I see his little smirk as he's looking into the camera.
Anyways, anything else, Jacob, you would like to mention?
He's looking down. I assume he's typing. Yeah, he said everything.
Okay, I'm gonna end the stream here.
For now, anyways.
Thank you all for tuning in, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye!